Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the latest delivery of the Stormbringer magazine series from Hachette Partworks. Now this is a little bit late doing this video. After this one, from now on, as soon as the box arrives, I'll be doing an unboxing video like this one with a post over on spruesandbrews.com. But I wanted to catch up with the latest box that's arrived, and I'm sure the next one actually is not too far away. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these issues that comes with this delivery. We're going to have a look through each of the magazines. We're going to be checking out the sprues that come with the magazine and also have a little bit of a chat about the value. So very quickly, before we get the camera down and unboxing these properly, let's have a quick look at what's come in this delivery. So you tend to get 4 issues, but we have got a bonus issue in this pack as well. So the first one, which is issue 19, this one has Guard of Steel Soul. We've then got 2 issues, 20 and 21, which together make up a Marsh Crawler Slug Off, which I'm really excited to build. Issue 22 comes with 2 paints, which we'll have a look at in a second. And then finally, for subscribers, there was also a bonus issue as well. Now, this costs a little bit extra, which we'll talk about when we unbox. But this one comes with the Ogor Tyrant, the multi-part Ogor Tyrant, which came out when I think the last More Tribes book came out, or potentially the one before, I can't quite remember now. So what we're going to do is just going to very quickly go through these 5 issues, have a look at what's in the magazines, and then wrap up. So let's have a look. Okay, it's time to now unbox each issue of this delivery, and we're starting with issue 19, which includes Guard of Steel Soul for the Stormcast Eternals. Let's first check out the sprue. He has been out for a little while now. Let's just move the magazine away out of the way so we can focus a little bit better. But he's a very cool mini doing his superhero entrance. That's crack base. I've been really looking forward to picking this guy up myself, actually, because I'm actually painting my Stormcast at the moment as the Hallowed Knights, of which this is their special character. So I've held off whilst waiting for this issue to land. Literally land. I'll have to do anyway. So yeah, really excited by this one. He's a really cool character. The books race as well, if you haven't read them already. He does come with 2 heads. Comes with a nice helmetless head and one with a helmet as well. So that's a really cool model, and of course you've got the base as well. But now let's have a look at the magazine. So here we go. So as always, you've got a bit of everything here, bit of storytelling. We've got some build and painting. And other such goodness. So we're talking about wizards, Orruk magic in this one. The Sons of Behemat, the big giant boys. So cool, the Sons of Behemat. We've got a bit of a breakdown on the character that comes with this magazine. This issue, Guard of Steel Soul. Just in case you've never, you don't know who this guy is. Nice, cool reasons for battle here. That's quite cool to roll upon. Oh, you've got different chosen tactics and great deeds that you can try and accomplish while you're playing with him. You got how to build him. It's pretty straightforward. How to paint. So this is painting in this traditional Hallowed Knight scheme. I like how sort of in-depth these are. They're really good for people who are starting out in the hobby. And you've also got his full war scroll there as well. And it talks about the Hallowed Knights there as well. So yeah, it's really cool. We've then got some war scroll tutorials. So it's talking about the abilities that he has, what they exactly mean, how they play out in game. We've then got the War Scroll for the Beast Skewer Killbow, which I think came in the issue previous. Such a cool weapon. I need to get that built. And then it teaches you how that War Scroll works as well. And then it starts talking about battle rounds. So obviously, as the magazine series goes on, it's telling you more and more about the mechanics of Age of Sigmar. So this is talking about the battle rounds and priority rolls. Making priority rolls, the double turn, the dreaded double turn. And then it also gives you a quick battle plan as well. A nice straightforward deployment map. The forces, obviously bearing in mind the models that you've got so far, which is a lot of fun. Grab a friend and have a blast. It's got a breakdown of the turn. And obviously, if you win, the Stormcast win, or if the Cruel Boys win, and if it's a draw. So that's very cool. And then it also talks about a new battle map, which is going to be coming from issue 21, which is called, got a big spider on it, which is pretty cool. Quite like that. And it talks about the Sylvaneth and Gloomspite Gits, which are coming in the next few issues as well. And then obviously, we're going to see these in a second, but they're what's coming in issue 20 and 21. So that's the first one. Let's check out issue 20. Now, this one comes with the first half of the Marsh Crawler Slug-Off. So we'll take a quick look at the sprue first. Now, I remember when I saw pictures of this, when the Cruel Boys are first announced, it looked like a massive model. But actually, it's quite, I won't call it small, but it's definitely smaller than I expected. But the more I've seen it, the more I really like it. And the kit is very detailed. I like the kind of, is it called the Howdar? Are they Howdars? The bits that are on the back, I can't think what they're called now. With all your sort of, I can't remember what the grots are called. They're not grots. The hobgrots, they are grots, that are on the back of this guy. They're sort of weapons to capture. So that's very cool. So that's the first sprue. The second sprue is going to come in the next issue, which we're going to come up to in a moment. But let's have a look at the magazine itself. So again, it comes with a Marsh Crawler Slug-Off. And this one looks like it's going to talk about Chaos Monsters, which is always fun. That's a really cool mini. Shame you don't get those in the magazine series. Chimeras and Cygors. Getting some more story there. I like this bit of artwork here. That's very cool. Mega Boss on a Maw Crusher, one of my favourite Age of Sigmar models. Talking about the Fire Slayers. Unfortunately, you don't get any Fire Slayer models in the series, but it's cool to read all about them because they are very cool. They're an army I'm tempted to paint next. And then it starts talking about the Marsh Crawler himself. So again, you've got these unit traits you can roll on. Git Snatchers. You've got some unit tactics there and great deeds to try and achieve. How to build him. So I'm assuming this is going to show up to the points that we have. It looks fairly straightforward. Building the Cruel Boys to go on top. Such a cool model. So actually it's the complete guide, which is really good. Your journey continues using mounts, damage tables. So again, breaking down the war scrolls for you. So I think this is the first mount we've had. The first mount we've had in this series. And then we've got a new battle plan, which includes actually it doesn't include the Marsh. No, it doesn't include the Marsh Crawler, but it is using a lot of the other models that you've got so far. Actually, that makes sense because you won't have the second part of the Marsh Crawler yet, so ignore me. And then again, you've got a breakdown of the turn and victory conditions. And again, it's talking about the new mat and stuff, which is coming. So that's cool. I really like how kind of in-depth the magazines are. It's really good. I'll tell you one thing I've not done. I've not talked about value. So, in fact, we'll talk about value at the end. Let's carry on unboxing and we'll talk about the value to get to the last magazine. So here's the second part of the Marsh Crawler. Bit of a small sprue. Oh, we've got some else there as well. So let's have a close look at this one. So yeah, very detailed, really nice model. Not so many parts on this sprue, but this will complete your guy. And also, importantly, this issue also comes with his base. So you'll be able to get cracking with your Marsh Crawler. And then we'll move on to the magazine. With a nice picture of Marathi on the front there. Ooh, this looks quite fancy. So some talking about creatures of the mortal realms, magical institutions. Now, some basics on building models. So I think what this is doing here is, because obviously the Master Crawler's got more parts than you're probably used to so far in this series, it's giving you a bit more of a breakdown on, you know, how the sprues are numbered and things like that, just in case you've not built a model before with this many parts. It's also giving you some advice on clipping, removing bits of the sprue that might be left after you've snipped them off the main sprue, getting rid of mold lines, which is really important. Just something I need to get better at, actually, to be honest. Talking about push fit models, applying pressure, fixing pegs if they break, using plastic glue, how much to use, controlling the amount you use, correcting if you've put too much on, and filling gaps, which can sometimes happen. Of course, we've got the full instructions in the previous magazine. So in this one, it's going to teach you about painting it to the sort of, as close to the studio scheme, which is very cool. Nice and easy and straightforward to follow, which I really like. It introduces the core rules of Age of Sigmar, as well as bringing in the War Scroll for the Marsh Crawler. That's the full War Scroll, and then sort of teaching you how the War Scroll works. Then we've got the Pits of Peril, your battle plan for this issue. So alliance objectives. Not using quite as many models, but you are using the Marsh Crawler in this one. And then you've got a breakdown of the battle round, victory conditions. Okay, so that's that issue. So that's our 2 issues with the Marsh Crawler. Oh, it also comes with this as well, Armies of Ulgu. So this is talking about the Realm of Shadow. So at Clanesh, and Nine of Deepkin, Marathai's elves as well. The Daughters of Cain. That's a little map of the Realm of Shadow. That's a nice little cool pull out. Oh, and that's the Nesh as well. Cool. Right, we're getting towards the end, but we have got issue 22 next. Now, no models of this one. Instead, we've got Avalan Sunset. And we've also got Griff Charger Grey as well, which is a really good grey. I use that quite a lot. And I do occasionally use Avalan Sunset. I'm probably more of a fan of the yellow contrast. That's my personal preference. So we've got the issue 22 magazine. This is talking about the Realm of Shadow. Death in the Mortal Realms. Nice artwork there of the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. The Stormcast Origins. This table allows you to generate backgrounds for your units. That's really cool. It'd be good to take this magazine series actually and build it into maybe a narrative you can run with your friends, like a Path to Glory. That'd be really cool. Got the same for the Cruel Boys as well. Creature Origins, Soldier Origins. Oh, so that must be your heroes. Yeah, champions. That's really cool. Techniques, learning to shade. So using your shade paints and your contrast paints. That's cool. So giving you a bit more background on your brush as well. Some tips. Adding definition. Making sure you don't load your brush too much. What happens if you've got pooling? All over shading compared to recess shading. Shading larger models. That's quite handy. Yeah, make sure your printing surfaces don't get paint all over your tables when you're painting scenery. That's happened to me. Marks, especially, that can happen quite a lot if you're using contrasts and shades. So a way to avoid that. And then it's going to show you how to use the 2 colours that have come in this magazine. Keywords from there. Core rules. In fact, this is the full core rules, which is really cool. And then you've got your battle plan for this issue. Not so many Stormcast models there. And you've got a few Cruel Boys there as well in your battle plan, which is very cool. So that's the end of the sort of normal magazine. So in the next video, we'll be looking at these two issues. We'll get the Lord of I think it's pronounced Aquila. I'm sure you're all laughing at me. However that is pronounced, as well as the Loom Boss. I think that's our first Gloomspite Git model from this magazine series. But that's not all. We do have one bonus issue. Now, this did cost £10 extra if you've got a normal subscription. Well, if you've got any of the kind of subscriptions. And it did give you the option to opt out as well. So you weren't forced to pay the £10 for this. You could have opted out. But what you do get is an ogre. Not just any ogre, the new Ogor Tyrant. I say new, he's the newest model they have. And he's an amazing model. I've actually got one of these built and painted. Should have really brought it down to show you guys. But he's sat upstairs, I'm afraid. So he's a really cool model. Comes with a nice big glaive and his big hammer. He's a superb kit. He almost tempted me to get an ogre army, and actually, I probably will one day. He's ready to lead them. So yeah, very, very cool model. So yeah, this was £10 in addition. His base there as well, which does save you £12.50 because he's £22.50 retail at GW. Obviously, it might be a bit cheaper from another website such as our affiliates. So what do we have in here? So this is going to be talking about the Ogre tribes. This, I believe, is going to be the only mini we'll get for these guys in the series. So you've got like a name generator there and a background generator. How to build your tyrant. Oh, there's his surnames. That's cool. And great deeds, stuff that you want to try and achieve during your games. And how to paint him. Again, broken down to nice, easy steps. So you should be able to follow along and paint away. There's your finished model. And then you've got his full war scroll as well, and how to photograph. Now, this is actually really handy because it can be quite hard to photograph Warhammer miniatures. So it's cool to get a page which tells you the best way of doing so. You can use the folding backdrop on the next page to take awesome photos of your painted tyrant model. Follow the guide to learn how to take your best photos. So we've got, oh yeah, look at that. So you'll fold it up like that. So that's quite handy. See the line there where you fold it. That's really cool. Obviously, just push it against a wall, and there we go. That's your bonus. That's your bonus issue. So we'll quickly talk about value. I've already mentioned that this saves you £12.50 on the Tyrant if you were to buy him separate. With the issue with your two paints, if you were to buy the two paints separately, you would actually save £3.49. So not so much value with regards to the paints with this one. However, you do get the magazine, and it teaches you how best to use those paints. And of course, you've got all the sort of lore and stuff in there as well on the new battle plan. It's worth it, I think, overall for the whole series. There's a couple of issues which just include paints, which technically aren't as good a value, but you are getting the magazine. Issues 20 and 21 come with your Marsh Crawler. So even though you're getting two issues, the model itself would be £35 if you were to buy it on its own. So there is quite a big saving. I think it's one of the biggest savings so far in the series, even when you consider it's £8.99 times 2. So that's really cool. Yeah, Gardas you're saving pennies on as well, because £8.99 gets you him. If you were to buy him in the shops, it would cost you £25. So a nice chunky saving on that as well. So the only issue in this one where you don't have technically a saving is the paints, but you are getting lots of quality content in the magazine. So I think that more than makes up for it. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've liked flicking through these magazines. Let us know in the comments if you're still collecting Stormbringer and what you're really looking forward to getting in future issues. And maybe let us know how you're getting on painting yours as well. I am getting quite far behind on mine now. I'm hoping to bust out some paints and get painting some Sigmar. I'm going to blame 10th edition 40k for how far behind I've got on Age of Sigmar. But I'm really looking forward to getting like this guy done and my Marsh Crawler and stuff. They're going to be great additions to my Stormcast and my Auric Warclans. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks again to Hachette Partworks for sending these to unbox and review to you guys. I'll be back again with another one of these videos when the next delivery drops. We've got plenty of other content coming soon to both our YouTube channel and spruesandbrews.com, so please keep an eye on both of those. And if you aren't already, follow us over on, I'm still going to call it Twitter. I know it's called X now, but it's still Twitter to me, or over on Facebook. Until next time, have a great time hobbying. Bye!